I'm Kamali, taking you through some of the things people are talking about and some of the stuff they're sharing around the world on Newsfeed today. Hollywood's gender pay gap exposed in a new study. Young people get ready for the climate summit in NYC. This man's dancing in a frilly neon blouse is the talk of the internet. And Brad Pitt chats to an astronaut. What's not to love? On top of our newsfeed, the gender pay gap and Hollywood. A new study has found there is a huge, inexplicable difference between the amount male and female actors are paid. Here's Adama.
Come from all over the world to see this.
Yeah, he's good, yeah.
The gender pay gap exists in every sector. And it's no different in the film industry. New research shows women are paid on average $1.1 million less per film than male actors. 3 economists from universities in the UK and US assessed salaries in over 1,300 films released between 1980 and 2015. 38% of the actors were women. When factors like social media popularity, the success of the actor's previous film, and the genre of the movie were taken out, the average pay difference was $2.2 million. The research serves as further evidence of a problem that's been around for decades.
You must not allow yourself to make similar mistakes.
Producers of Netflix series The Crown admitted British actor Claire Foy, who plays the lead, Queen Elizabeth, earns less than co-star Matt Smith. The producers haven't shared the exact details, but the discrepancy is pretty telling. Portraying the longest reigning British monarch doesn't seem to add any value. Patricia Arquette made headlines in 2015 when she called for wage equality once and for all in her Oscars speech.
To every woman who gave birth, to every taxpayer and citizen of this nation, we have fought for everybody else's equal rights. It's our time to have wage equality once and for all, and equal rights for women in the United States of America.
A-listers including Meryl Streep, Charlize Theron and Natalie Portman have also called out the industry. Age appears to play a huge part too. For women aged 50 and above, the gap widens to $4 million. Women of color also earn less. Black women's equal pay date fell on August the 22nd. Native American women's and Latinas' equal pay days come later on September 23rd and November 20th in the US. Forbes' 2019 list of the 10 highest paid actresses includes only one woman of color, Colombian Sofia Vergara. Last year, just 2 women of color featured, Vergara and ABC Scandal star Kerry Washington. So what can be done? Male and female actors are often represented by the same agencies and basically perform the same work for the same number of days. Some are calling for contracts to be made public. The hope being that transparency would encourage the industry to clean up its act. But true change will only happen if mindsets change. That requires actors and audiences to acknowledge the need for equality and view women and men through the same lens. Hollywood's cultural influence is undeniable. It certainly has the power to reign over the fight for equality.
Okay, let's take a look at some of the other things that caught our eye on social media. Now, fans of Downton Abbey can stay at the house on November the 26th if they book through Airbnb. It's part of the marketing for the new Downton Abbey film. The cost of the stay will be $170 for the night, and you have to have a good rating and reviews from Airbnb to qualify.
Hello, my name is Lily, and I ain't a white man. My skin got some color, and it ain't a spray tan. I know you used to only Jimmy's in the spotlight.
And Lily Singh's first show on NBC was on last night. She opened with this sketch, a rap about her becoming the first woman of colour to host a show in the late night slot for a major US network. Now, Greta Thunberg and the kids from Fridays for Future have won an award from Amnesty International. The 2019 Ambassador of Conscience Award has been given to the 16-year-old and the movement that she inspired. Ms. Thunberg started skipping school as a protest to the lack of action taken by decision-makers to deal with the climate crisis. Millions around the world started doing the same, the beginning of a movement which puts a face to the threat we as a species face. Her original argument being that what's the point in going to school if we won't be able to live on the planet in the future? And in the lead up to the most important climate summit ever in New York next week, young people there have begun working to save their futures. Here's Ezra.
Millions of people around the world are preparing to walk out of their places of work, homes and schools on Friday to join the student-led global climate strike.
We've recognized the issue, we've recognized that we need to protect our future, and we've recognized that older politicians aren't going to do that for us. And so we've taken to marches and protests and demonstrations to show that we aren't going to back down and that this is something we can do.
Elijah Gutierrez is one of several hundred youngsters who've attended a workshop in Brooklyn to make placards and banners for the protest.
Climate issues can't really be swept under the rug anymore. It's like way past that point, and even in like the best scenario, we're still gonna face a lot of problems. So yeah, it would be nice if we could spread the word more.
New York City has given more than 1 million children permission to skip school. Young people want to emphasise the urgency of the climate crisis. The extreme weather patterns, rising global temperatures and melting glaciers are no hoax. And young people know that more than most.
I'm trying to convince my friends that this is actually something that's worthwhile and matters. And, people are very critical of it. They're mostly suspicious of whether doing something like this will actually make a difference. And I mean, it's really the best thing you can do if you care about these kind of issues, and the only thing we can actually do.
The demonstration comes 3 days before the UN Climate Summit in New York, where world leaders will once again talk about their plans to save the planet. These young people are hoping politicians stick to their commitments and pledges and take action to secure their future.
And next, the fire at Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris was not only a cultural disaster, it turns out it was an ecological one too. And we will spin around the world now for some other stories you need to know this Tuesday. The Iranian government has acknowledged for the first time that it's holding 3 Australian nationals on spying charges. They are Mark Firkin and Jolie King, who had been attempting to drive from Australia to the UK and had documented some of their travels on social media. The other one they're holding is Kylie Moore Gilbert. She's an academic who's been sentenced to 10 years. Now, Elon Musk is accused of defamation and the internet is munching its popcorn as details are revealed. Musk is being sued by a guy called Vernon Unsworth, a diver who helped rescue that Thai football team who were trapped in a cave for 2 weeks last year. Now, Musk went to Thailand at the time with a submarine he said could be used to help. Mr. Unsworth said Musk's presence was a PR stunt and that he could stick the submarine where it hurts. Now, Musk then tweeted that Unsworth was a pedo, short for paedophile. Now, Unsworth is suing for defamation, but Musk says he was not saying that Unsworth is an actual paedophile and used the word as an insult as it was often used in South Africa when he was a child. Now, the man who made a career stretching the truth and sidestepping media questions as President Trump's spokesman has plumbed further depths. Well, Sean Spicer did this as a contestant on a show called Dancing with the Stars. Perhaps it's an effort to relaunch his reputation, or it's just him continuing to troll the American public with his behavior. Either way, this is happening and it's pretty horrible. And the internet agrees. Matt Wilstein writing, "This is what life is like now." And Nancy Lee Grant saying, "Clearly the costume designer is a Democrat." And last up, as part of the promotion for his new film Ad Astra about an astronaut searching space for his lost father, Brad Pitt teamed up with NASA to do a Q&A with a real-life astronaut about life above the Earth in the space station, the International Space Station, and it was live-streamed by NASA.
I'd read astronauts speak about looking back on the Earth and really being aware how insignificant we are in the grand scheme of things. Did you have a similar experience or something different?
You're looking down at everything that you've ever known, all of humanity right there, and you have this deep appreciation for how big the universe really is. And for me, it's just made me cherish and appreciate how delicate and how precious the little island we live on really is.
I think that's really beautiful to hear. Now, how are you able to stay in a single space this way? I see you tapping your feet every now and then. Are you in a foothold?
Yeah, I've got a foothold. And, I can change that up, but basically there's handrails everywhere, and I can just hook my foot underneath there. And it's one of the unique, you talked about challenges for the body being up here. This is one of those unique adaptations. The calluses on my feet have basically have gone away because I don't walk on the bottoms of my feet. But now I have calluses across the top of my foot around my big toe because I'm constantly hanging on things with my big toe to hold me in place. It's one of those strange things that you don't really think about on the ground, and then you get up here and it's like, wow, the body is this amazing, constantly evolving thing, and space changes everything.
Nick, last question, and I need to call on your expertise. Who was more believable, Clooney or Pitt?
You were, absolutely.
Nick, thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure, a real dream of mine. I can't wait to brag to my kids. And thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to speak with me and to watch our film. And all my respect to what you guys are doing up there.
I am not going to be the person that steps foot on Mars, but the children that are watching your movies, those young adults that are watching your movies, are the ones that are going to be inspired to achieve great things. And it's the power of those dreams that you inspire that is going to propel us successfully into the future. So thank you very much.
That was pretty cool. That is all from the Newsfeed team. Reach out to me with your questions, comments, complaints and suggestions. You'll find me at Kamali Melbourne. You'll find us 24/7 on YouTube. You can subscribe to our channel and you can follow me on Twitter. Follow, subscribe and add. See you again tomorrow.